Okay, let me turn this off for a sec. Oh. So, Noelle is checking out some spaces for us. The studio, we did this has nothing to do with this video, right? Actually, I'm going to do two videos. So I'm going to talk about this, and then I'll talk about the other topic, which is Hong Kong, in a different video. But our studio is doing very well, actually. It's doing pretty good. It could do better if we had a better setup in terms of the building itself. Freight House Square does have a lot of limitations in terms of hours. They have events that go on, which really and truly impact our business quite a bit. And just the amount of foot traffic is not that great. It could be better. We're at the end of the building, so a lot of people don't go down that far. There's a lot of different things, right? There's many, many different things that are limiting factors. And on top of that, the building doesn't have the best of reputations, right? Because of past management issues, et cetera, right? Well, we signed just a year lease, or not a year, 6-month lease. And because a lot of businesses pop in and pop out, they end up not being able to make it or whatever the case may be. And so that's kind of how Freight House is set up. It's kind of a pseudo incubator, if you will. And really and truly, it is an okay space, but again, management is the main problem because there's no improvements been done on the facility and all of that. It's a bit of a concern, right? Well, we know that we probably will outgrow that space. And we know that we probably will need to eventually go someplace else. We're willing to do another 6 months there if we had to, but it would be optimal if we, had a completely different space altogether. Now, I'm big about staying in downtown Tacoma. That to me is a requirement. You know what I mean? Like anything else is kind of negotiable, but it's not negotiable when we're talking about downtown. Downtown Tacoma, I believe heavily in. And I do so many videos talking about Tacoma and Seattle, and in both cities, downtown is pretty much the place to be if you're a business. It is, to me, the place to be. Not saying that other neighborhoods can't benefit from it, but by and large, in both cities and even in Bellevue, if you go to any of the cities around here, most tourists will go to the downtown sections. Downtown Tacoma is hopping, to be honest with you. It is really and truly hopping. And so we know that at the start of next year, we're going to have to relocate or sign another lease, because in February, 6 months is when we are pretty much on the mark for that, right? And we're facing the possibility of our rent increasing there at that space. Now, to be honest with you, it's not worth it. And I say it's not worth it because you have a lot of infringements of other businesses and what they're doing and other things going on and people taking over your space a little bit. So really, Freight House is kind of like a giant incubator or co-working space, kind of, because of the way, with a food court. Because of the way the businesses are done. So now we're taking a big leap into having an actual storefront. Now, just the other day, because today is Thursday, the other day, Noelle and I went to the World Trade Center in Tacoma here. We have our own World Trade Center. And inside of there, you have the Chamber of Commerce, you have various different groups there. And Noelle sent me something, so I'll check it later. But it really and truly was important to have that meeting because the group that we actually met with is responsible for, and they're part of the city, but they're responsible for getting and connecting businesses and getting them started and nurturing them, Typically, startups is what their main focus is, but you don't necessarily have to be a startup. You could be a person that's been in business for years and go to them and they still can help you in certain areas. You may not understand the financials. So they literally help you from the ground up. You may not know squat about a business or running one, but they're able to teach you every bit of that through a 12-week course. I believe it's 12 weeks. And it's not expensive. So this is something that Tacoma offers, and it really does. Their main goal is to build up downtown Tacoma, really Tacoma in general, but mainly downtown Tacoma, because obviously that is the heartbeat of this entire region, not just Tacoma, but the entire region. Downtown is really the thing that's the driving force of the South Sound, just like downtown Seattle is pretty much driving the entire state, to be honest with you. So I'm not saying that other places aren't important, but to be honest with you, downtown Seattle by itself is really propelling the entire state. When you count the port, when you count all of the downtown businesses and whatnot, they pretty much do a lot. Amazon's down there. It's really pulling the entire state. Here we are starting to see the same thing. Here in Tacoma has always been the case that downtown has really pulled the South Sound. So downtown is going to continue that path. There are other businesses that are trying to get in, and there's big developers now coming to Tacoma and they're buying up old buildings, right? And what they're doing is they're testing the market to see if they buy this building and they raise the rents and people still rent, why not build more buildings? So what we're doing is adding to that surge, right? We're adding to that surge. And there's some storefront areas downtown that I have looked at for quite some time that are very attractive, that fit what we need. There was one space way bigger than what we needed, way more than what we wanted to pay. Maybe one day we'll get to that point, but right now, not needed. Downtown property spaces are pricey, right? Not as bad as what you're going to face up in Seattle, not even close, but they're still pricey. So we are looking at expanding our operations, right? And not in the scope of size, because really the space size is okay. The size itself is fine. We really have the size that we need, but we need expanded hours because again, we're capped on the amount of time because Freight House closes at 7. So we can't really stay open much beyond that point. So we need something that's going to allow us to do that. And we also need the privacy so that if someone is wanting to paint, they don't have to listen to a mariachi band or whatever going on. They're able to focus on what they're needing to do. So when you couple that along with working with Tacoma, because the city of Tacoma has their program, which I'm going to be doing, it really does create a lot of energy. Now, one of the spaces we're looking at is along the light rail line. So that's great. And there's a stop. I think they're going to move the stop though. So I don't know. But to pretty much tell you kind of, because Noelle's calling and I got to call her back. But to pretty much to cap all this off, we're basically going to be moving to possibly a new space, a new location in the next few months. And it's going to obviously be downtown. There's going to be a lot of stuff that we're going to do. If you've seen videos of what we did to set up the space, it took us literally no time. I've already kind of calculated how long it would take for us to really move and relocate to a new space, and it really wouldn't take much time at all. And how we're going to do that, how we're going to go about it, and all of that. So I've actually pretty much in my mind calculated how that's going to be done. Noelle's not good with that. She's good with other aspects. But I've already figured out what we need to do overall to just pretty much move in a single night. We could set up, I could literally set up that space in just a nighttime. But anyhow, that's kind of what we're doing. Everything is still fresh. Nothing's set in stone just yet. But more than likely, we're going to be moving to a whole new space. I saw the space today. Noelle went to see it. She put me on camera. It's really, really nice. More than what I expected. Really, it's going to definitely be a game changer for us. But anyhow, just kind of want to give you an update as to where we are. I got to answer her call because she's going to get mad. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I will see you. Take care.